Hello my fellow riders and welcome back to Riding Reviews. Today it is really cold and I thought that I'd do a video to tell you how I keep warm on a motorcycle and some of the options you have to keep warm too. Now in my job I have to test ride motorcycles all year round. Whether it's raining really heavily, whether it's snowing, sun, wind, whatever the conditions, I will still have to test motorcycles, which means quite often I get really cold. So I have developed my way of staying warm on a motorcycle, but unlike what you can do with yours, because I am using many different bikes, I have to have everything warm on myself. So I can't plug it into the bike. Whereas you, at a later stage, you may want to put heated grips on your bike. You may want to put heated seat, which is all available and will fit on your bike. You just got to make sure that you don't put too much, because otherwise it'll drain your battery. But anyway, let's go through first what I use to stay warm. Now, most of these tricks aren't very difficult to do and you can replicate them at home. My first item that I use to stay warm is my jacket. So this jacket I bought off of Amazon 2 years ago. I had to modify it slightly because of some design issues, but in essence what you do is you push your finger on the button and red means it's hot, white means it's cooler, green means it's cooler again. Red will use the most battery, white will use less, blue will use the least. But with my modifications of this one, so I got the battery pack, there was a USB connector in there, and what kept on happening is every time it moved it would disconnect and then the jacket would go off. So I put a block connector on there and soldered it onto the points on the charger. You don't have to do this potentially if you're not using the jacket as much as I do. I pretty much use this for 6 months a year, even working around the workshop and places like that, because it is still really cold in there. I like this because I don't only have to use it on a bike. And yes, I had to modify it a couple of times just because of the connections on the back of the switch came off. But I use it a lot. You might not have to do that if you don't use it as much as I do. When I'm riding, I always wear my motorbike jacket, but especially when it gets cold, I wear an over jacket as well, which is just something like this. I put this over the top of my motorbike jacket and it stops the rain from getting in, because motorbike jackets are not waterproof, they are water resistant. So you can still get ingress of water into your motorbike jacket. That just stops me from getting wet and blocks some of the wind. I'm still protected because I've got my motorbike jacket underneath. But again, I want to stay warm. And another thing you need is a snood, I think they're called. So this is probably one of the things that is going to make the biggest amount of difference. When you're riding along, you've got to remember the wind blowing at you is the same speed as you are going, plus whatever the ambient wind is outside. So if it's -1 and then you've got the wind chill factor and then you've got your speed of your motorbike added onto that, that means you're going to get very cold. So if you put one of these on, goes over your neck, into your clothing. You can put it over your nose if you want, you can put it over the head. But this will stop the wind from getting down to the back of your neck, stop your neck from getting cold. So yes, this will stop all the air and wind getting down into your jacket and making you cold. Quite a lot of people don't actually wear the trousers. I don't wear trousers myself because of getting in and out on so many different times. It just takes way too long. Yes, you should wear trousers. In reality, are you going to wear them? Unless it's absolutely freezing, probably not. But yes, you should wear them. So when it comes to my helmet, obviously I've got gizmos and gadgets. This is my camera for recording my vlogging videos, and I've also got I use this for listening to music on my bike. But one of the other things that I do is the two vents on the back of your helmet. If you're riding along and you haven't done this, you'll be able to tell. So if you're riding along and it is freezing cold outside, it'll feel like somebody's stabbing you in the back of the head. And that's these two vents here. So on all the helmets I have, I always tape them up. And that stops the air from going in and hitting the back of your head and making it feel like somebody's smacking you in the back of the head all the time. And again, that helps quite a lot. One of the main problems with being cold on a motorcycle is when you are riding, if you're cold, you're more concentrating on keeping yourself warm rather than concentrating on the road externally. And also you stiffen up quite a lot. So when you're turning, you're supposed to be a little bit loose. You can't do that if you're absolutely freezing cold. So it is a good idea to always try and make sure that you are warm on your motorcycle. We can go over some of the stuff that you can get for your motorcycle that I don't use, just because of many different bikes that I have to use. It doesn't make sense for me to do it to all of them. So number one, the easiest one for you to do is heated grips. The heated grips can either go onto your ignition wire or directly to the battery, but make sure that you've got a switch on them, because if not, your battery will die and then you won't be able to start up your bike. Now, there's a couple of things you've got to be careful of when you get your heated grips. So, especially on a 125, a 125 can produce approximately 3 amp hours worth of power. So, if you're using 2 amp hours worth of power to charge your heated grips, and then you decide to plug in your phone into the cigarette lighter or the USB charger, whichever device your bike has, that will be taking the equivalent of 3 amp hour. So if you're taking 3 amp hour, that means the bike isn't getting charged. So when you're riding along, majority of the time you'll be absolutely fine. But what you will find is when you stop, you pull over to the side, you turn your bike off, you might not have enough power to restart it. So you've got to make sure that your bike can provide enough power to power the devices that you're putting onto it. Another thing that you can get is heated seats. This is a little bit more of a tricky thing because usually they go underneath your seat cover, which means that you're going to have to pull your seat cover up. Me personally, I think it's a bit too much effort. Means as you can now get heated gloves, heated jackets, heated trousers, heated helmets, heated boots. All of these sort of stuff can run off of an external power supply. And another thing you can do as well is, if you do have an external power supply that you are charging, that you are running all your jackets and everything off, there's no reason why you can't charge it off the bike, because it's still going to be only giving you about 1.1 amp to charge the battery. It will not charge it as much as you're using it, but it will be able to make it last an extra 25%. So I hope this has helped you, and I hope you can do some stuff to make yourself a little bit warmer, especially in January and February when it is really, really cold. So hopefully this video has helped you out. Please subscribe to my channel if it did, so you can stay updated to all of my latest content. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, comment below if you didn't, and tell me how I can make my videos better in the future. Remember, I have a video library of over 303 different videos, all related to motorbike reviews, test rides, products, and all of that sort of stuff. So please look on there to see if there's anything that can help you. But as always, ride safe.